Are you looking for accurate technical information? If so, then Google Scholar may be a very important tool for you. There are a few reasons why you might want to use Google Scholar. Perhaps you're learning a new topic to perform some technical or scholarly research, or perhaps you're giving a technical presentation for a grade. In these cases, you need detailed, accurate, and authoritative technical information. Hi, I'm Dr. Bear, and I want to give you some tips on using Google Scholar. I use Google Scholar frequently because I'm a professor in electrical engineering, and I do technical research, and I also make my students do technical research. So the challenge with standard search engines is that hits often include articles, blogs, advertisements, editorials, and Wikipedia articles. Now, some of these may be very useful, but it's also likely that we're going to find information that's sensationalized, inaccurate, misleading, or just plain wrong. When you need accurate information with details that have been peer-reviewed by technical experts, your best bet is Google Scholar. In this brief video, I'm going to discuss getting started with review articles, and then we'll talk a little bit more about citations. So let's go back to my web browser. Here's Google Scholar. To get started, let's look for a review article on quantum computing. So to do that, I'll just type quantum computing review. A lot of these hits that I get may require a subscription or payment to access them. Now, if you work at a research firm or institution, or at an educational institution, or you're a student, it's likely that you have a subscription to many of these already. I'm on campus at my university, and I can just go ahead and click full view, or you'll see a PDF on some of these, and then you can go ahead and see what comes up. So because of experience, I know that reports on progress in physics is sort of a treasure trove of review articles. And review articles can be fairly lengthy. You can see this one has about 50 pages. So this is a really great place to get started. Let's go back and we'll talk a little bit more about what we find here and citations. On these hits, I can star an article. That means I save it and I like it. This little quotation, if I click it, it gives me a bibliography entry that I can copy and paste in different styles. You can see that this article has been cited by 1,420 other articles, and so I can click and get a list of all the articles that have cited it. That's very nice, because if you find an article, you might want to know how it's been applied. Let's go back. You can also find related articles, articles that may not cite this article but are also related. Go back. Sometimes articles are published in different versions, so you can get a different version of it. And then you can also go to the Web of Science, which may point you to other related articles. It's very similar to the Google Scholar. One thing to point out about the citations is that the more the article is cited, the more authoritative it is. So this is pretty good. It's very much like likes on a social media platform. So we might say that this Steen is a quantum computing influencer. Another nice thing about review articles, which is related to citations, is the end of the article contains numerous citations to more original research, right? Because we think of review articles not necessarily as original research, but they are a tool that combines a lot of original research and helps someone come up to speed quickly on a topic. So that's why I say it's good to get started with these. Let's open up the article PDF. And then if we go down to the end of the article, which is a long way down in this case, we'll find many more original sources, and then we can maybe look these up. So let's look at one of these, this quantum cryptography one by Bennett and Broussard. That, I believe, is fairly original and fundamental. So you can go to the citations like this, and you can trace a concept back to its genesis. So if you look at this, this is a very important article. You can see that it's been cited almost 8,000 times versus the review articles 1,400 times. And in case I didn't say it before, when you do your own research, you generally want to not cite the review articles, but go back to the original source. Additional tools Google Scholar gives you here are that you can select the time range for your search. You can eliminate things, say, prior to 2020 if I click on this button, or you can define your own custom range if you know the particular time frame you're looking for data. Maybe one other thing I'll point out is you can tell whether something's really fundamental, again, by the number of citations. And you can tell if it's a review article because it's very broad. Going back to this, quantum computing is a very broad topic. Quantum computing with trapped ions, it's also fairly broad, so we might recognize that as a review, but let's look at some of the references inside here. Going down to the bottom, you can see some of these titles like deterministic entanglement of two ions. That's much more specific than quantum computing with ions, and so you can kind of get a feel for what's a specific concept or what's a review. So that's my brief introduction for you to Google Scholar. We talked about how you can do a little technical reconnaissance using review articles. You can look up and down the chain of citations to find the original genesis of the ideas, and you can find who cited the article that you found to see how it was applied. Now you might have some other tips on using Google Scholar, so I'd love to hear in the comments from you, how do you like to use Google Scholar? If you found this video helpful, please hit the like or the subscribe button. Feel free to share the video. Thanks for your time, and Godspeed you on your quest for truth.